welcome everyone. Got a game here that I found on the Dune Discord, playing Aleksy. Have not played Aleksy before. I've seen him on the Discord fairly often, so I expect he's going to be a pretty good player. I think we randomed, and I am playing the Harks, and he is playing the Atreides. This is a game that is totally unedited, and you can see by the timestamp it's a fairly quick one, about 45 minutes or so. So Aleksy is a quick player, and oftentimes that's pretty good. So I'll just go through my train of thought here. I'm spreading out the harvesters to try to make sure I make it difficult for him to get. Rolled my dice, got a pretty good amount of attacks. I feel pretty happy about that. One of everything else due to the overflow of strategy. Got my Sardaukar kind of in the middle back area. So I always like to think about, what I'm going to attack. Open with a deploy with the beast. And we'll get some guys out here. So in a spot that I can attack and then kind of reinforce the North Pole and get my villages sort of set up. All right, he is setting up to blow up a harvester and also maybe go for that token, the eco station. So because I don't know his play style, I want to play a little bit conservatively. So instead of upgrading, I'm just going to move everything out to that area. That's a little bit faster than I'd like to move. And okay, I'm moving a group out towards this siege. So what I'm telling him is I'm saying, hey, if you go for that harvester, I'm going to take that siege with a token force here. He plays Shai Halud. Okay. And I think he would want to place it up next to that army up top, but maybe not. Maybe he says, okay, well, if you're going to take that siege, I'm going to whittle your army down because you'll only have regulars left. And yep, so that's probably the counter there. So I have a choice. I could do a surprise attack, I could upgrade, I could keep walking around. I say, okay, we'll just surprise attack and see how that goes. It's a 1 value with 2 regulars. Should be a easy deal. Yep. All right, blocked both of his. He's dead. And then I have Hawat that comes out in exchange. So he has an ability to get some points by attacking, also by getting into mountain areas. Shai Halud comes in, does 3 damage. That's about average. I think 3.5 is about average. So my thought is I'll lose a Sardaukar because I can still upgrade those regulars, and I feel pretty good about that. And here's my upgrading. Gonna try to get some use out of this group still. And that sort of invalidated his 2 worm signs that he put out for that group too, so I feel like that attack also helped him sort of waste a turn. All right, he deploys Stilgar up by the North Pole. And I could do a double beast to get next to that other siege up top. Or I could do single moves. Wonder what I'll do here. I could play full control of the air, might be good, but I don't know if I'd want to play that with the strategy dice. I guess I do. Okay. So I'll put one there, then one up top, I think. Yeah, that's more flexible. And then I'll move those guys to the edge of the mountain. Yep. Okay. So I'm trying to rush him down right now is kind of what's happening. So he does have a named leader. He does not currently have anybody in the mountains. He's got another siege that's under attack. And he also has a harvester lined up to get blown up, but now his siege is directly being threatened here. He has 3 attack dice left. So he is going to Stilgar with the whole unit there. And he's going to move those guys out of attack range. Interesting. Okay. And I wonder what his third move is going to be. So part of playing an aggressive Harkonnen style is trying to force the Atreides player into making suboptimal moves. They have pretty minimal dice. Okay, so instead of doing Stilgar, he does Paul to move 2 leaders and then also place Paul in the Legion. So now I have a choice. I can go get the siege or I can go attack his units. I choose to attack his units because I don't want that group hanging around. And I don't want that group getting the token. So a surprise attack plus 2 more hits is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can keep one guy alive. So Paul has to go in the tank. He has one guy left. I continue. He retreats. And I think I'll probably retreat him to the siege is the right way to do that. Yep, I like doing that because, you know, I'd rather take the siege and kill somebody since you have to use an attack anyway. All right, he's got 2 dice left. He actually still has his Stilgar move on there. I'm sure he realizes that. Yep. So moves he has available that are good. He can kind of move back to cover the siege. He could probably push his unit back out. Yep, that's probably a good move. And then he's gonna walk to the mountains maybe. What to do with those guys? That very first deployment token can be so swingy. So now he's threatening to score Bloody Swords just by attacking my unit right there with his last dice. So I think it actually makes sense for me to take that siege up north and then preventing him from scoring that. He could still move right up next to the North Pole and then open with an attack, and maybe he gets Ya Chahuda there, or Chailuda, or whatever that objective is. But, you know, it's usually better to prevent objectives that he's about to score rather than ones he may score in the future. Now, interestingly, I could also hop over him and take the siege behind him. And then if he attacks me, he will then be out of position to attack something else. So I'm considering that. So my options are take the one that he willingly abandoned, take the one that he abandoned sort of to set up an objective, or take the one right next to my guys on the mountain. If I take the one next to the mountain, he's definitely going to attack me next turn and then probably get the North Pole after that. So I'm trying to decide here whether or not I want to leapfrog the guys and hope that's a bigger siege, or if I want to go to the one that he opened up in the very beginning. And I think I'm going to go for the bigger siege, if I remember right. Yeah. See what I do here. That's a 3. Okay, that's good. Now that does give him a Bene Gesserit, so that's not perfect, but okay. And then now he can attack back and score that objective still. It also lets me see what his deployment token was. It was a Fatakin and an Elite, so a pretty good one. He's going to go 5. I'll just roll 3. He has 1 Fatakin, and I take 2. I'll lose the 2 regulars and let him retreat me somewhere. That does score him Bloody Swords. Puts me in the deep desert. I'm still within striking distance of that open siege though, which I kind of like. And he is not in immediate attacking distance of me next turn, so if I get lucky in the desert, then might be okay. Oh, I should have Thwyfer here. There we go. Yep. I take 2 Carino cards anyway. And he's going to Worm Sign. He's got 1 Harvester, which I don't have a carry-all for. So I only get 1 set of spice here. Okay. I'll downgrade to a regular. That lets me attack with a leader dice if I need to. Okay, so feeling pretty good. He's got 2 objective points. I've got 4 siege points. That seems like a good trade. I have to pick 2 bans to put in place. So the ban decision largely has to do with how many cards you have in your hand. So if you have a lot of cards, you want to keep Landsrad open. If you don't have a lot of cards, you want to keep Chome open. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll keep Chome open. All right, he has the 2 Harvester objectives, Sand Riding, and Paul and Jessica in the desert. I have 1, possibly 2 sieges that I might be able to get to. And I need to decide where the least scary place to put harvesters are. Since he's got the harvester objective, it's probably going to be down by this sandworm here. I should probably tuck that top one in right down next to, yeah, all right. So I'm going to put a carry-all out there and say, okay, maybe I don't need my guys to be right next to there. And then 1 out to transport those guys. That is not the right place to put that ornithopter. Wombat. It's got to be a little bit closer to the guys in the top sector. Yeah, come on. There you go. Okay. So now I have the option to attack that. So now I'm adjacent to 2 sieges, which if those average out to be 2 each, that puts me within like 1 siege of victory. I did roll a leader dice, or 2, so I've got a lot of attacks. These are pretty good rolls as Harkonnens. 1 deploy is perfect. He's going to deploy out to cover that siege up front. Okay, so that's okay. He's also got the Paul and Jessica card. Pretty good play by him. I have both rage cards here, but not the rage card that I want. The rage card that I want is the one that lets me deploy Shaddam and then move and then attack with him. So what do I do here? Do I defend the North Pole? Do I let him have it? Do I take the open siege while it's available? I think I probably should deploy in the North Pole. I played this game a couple weeks ago, so I'm not entirely sure. He did have another deployment, and I was a little nervous about that, so I just went for that one. Okay, so that gives me 2. That brings in Fade. Oh, maybe I wanted to get Fade out before I deployed. That might have been what I was thinking. If he puts Shai Halud out there, he can Sand Ride. And I don't have any way to stop that right now. I can't walk my guy over the worm sign, so that's a cool move for him. If he makes a play to get the eco station, he has a move to get 2, right? So he could do a double move, get one with Stilgar, get the other one with that single guy in the desert. Or I can trade a dice to eliminate that single guy. Or I can deploy in the North Pole with the idea of punishing Stilgar after he takes that option. Looks like I'm going for the single guy in the desert. So for those of you who have watched my Rebellion channel, my rules are 1, subjugate rebel cities, 2, eliminate rebel units on the map. I sort of do that here. 1, take sieges if they're available, 2, try to squish Atreides legions if they're on the map. Atreides legions are I did not predict that there. Maybe that's a 3 siege up there. That'd be a good target for Shaddam if I end up drawing his other card, maybe. Okay. A house dice. I don't know if I predicted house dice, but we're doing it. Okay. So we're bringing out Shaddam, and then we're placing him in that area with 2 Sardaukar. Pretty cool. Got a lot of Sardaukar there. Okay, he's going to worm sign into the North Pole. I think I decided that was a fair trade. So that must have been my train of thought was, okay, you get the 3 points for that, and then I will attack the top right-hand corner siege with a big force. I do not have the ability to discard cards because of my ban, so I needed kind of overwhelming force there. So I think we'll do it. Might as well make some use out of that group. Use my final Ornithopter. He has a nice deploy stack there. That was his double elite and double Fadekin, it looks like. And I had a surprise attack, so I'll have a... Oh, I see what happened. I pulled Ereshkigal off the table accidentally. Okay, there we go. So I got 5. Oh, that's right. I had the Chom ban up, so okay. So I can discard. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that does 5 damage to him. And then I block 1 because he had 4 elites there, it looks like. I'll take 4 damage, and which means I'll downgrade 4 Sardaukar. Yep. Okay, that's a pretty heavy hit. He's taken 3 damage so far, plus 2 liters for 5. Okay. I have to continue this attack, I think. Because, yeah. I think I have the upper hand here if I roll a special, and I should, but maybe I don't continue. All right, that's kind of risky, kind of a unfortunate situation there, because I can't make use of that last ornithopter. Oh, interesting. Okay. He's going to make a move towards the, to get the exchange, to get the points. So I think his thought is, I can't do another surprise attack because of the location of my ornithopters. But if he bails, I will definitely attack. I think I can do a double move maybe. It's kind of putting me in a awkward spot here. What would you do here? I guess maybe I can consolidate my troops up top. I could move them 2 spaces with the ornithopter. No, I don't think I can group my guys up together. I'd like to get that last leader in that mix if I could, but that doesn't look too possible. See, and again, if I had placed my vehicles in a better location, I wouldn't be exposing myself to that objective right now. It's too bad. Mistake on my end. Okay, I'm going to do a double move. And I think the right move is to still move that leader up next to the other group, because if I do that and I wipe the folks, I can still have a follow-up attack. But instead I'm gonna, so what's going on down here, let me explain this. So down by the North Pole, I feel like there's a attack incoming for Arakeen. It's a few dice away, but it's not that far, right? So I'm trying to figure out, how do I get a backup group ready for a counterattack? Keeping large groups of Atreides together is generally a very bad idea. But instead, I just move to the plateau. I guess with the idea of, I don't know. All right, 1, 2 to get both of those. And then 3, he can also sand ride for his third with Stilgar on top of Shai Halud, which would probably be a good move. Yep. Yeah, that's good. So that was 2 objectives with 1 card. And I don't think I had a way of preventing that. Excellent move by Aleksy. And in exchange for that, I will then attack the base. So I said, okay, if you want your 2 objective points, I will attack you. I'll roll 6 dice, and I'll take that 2 points each. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. Okay. Take nothing in return. Oh no, maybe 1 in return. Yep. Yeah, because he blocks it. There we go. All right. Another Bene Gesserit token. And now I am potentially one siege away from winning. He is, with that last double score, he's not as far away as you might think. You always want to think about what it looks like if he grabs Arakeen, which is 3 points on each. So it would put him up to 7, and then just potentially 2 points away from winning at that point. So he is now in a position where he can open up and attack the basin. And if that happens to be, if he happens to get the 3-point red objective, and that ends up being what he's going after, that would be game over on his first dice next turn. Well, potentially, not his first dice, I guess, but that he would have the necessary objectives where all he would have to do is play defense at that point. So the question I'm asking myself now is, do I deploy Fade in a defensive position, or do I put him in an offensive position to potentially go after some sieges? And it appears I put him in a more offensive position and then leave my troops around. I don't know about that. I think that turn could have gone better for me, but it's okay. I got 4 points. I cannot buy spice. So I'll probably keep scouting ban up. I should be... I think I forgot to use a couple ornithopters for scouting during this game. Moving a little bit too quick. All right, that's all right. That last ornithopter, I don't think I had anything to scout, but I think first turn I had something to scout. Okay, I'm going to let land drop, and I'll keep the other two in place to roll the dice. I only have one card in my hand, so I don't feel too bad about letting Landsrad drop. And we'll draw 2 cards. So my thought is if he takes the basin, I'll attack him with Fade. If he doesn't take the basin, I'll attack him with Fade. That's a good Demon Ruler card to draw. Happy about that one. And I need to plan one more siege to take and hope that it's not a 1. I feel like where he deployed Jessica is probably not a 1 strength, because if it was, I think he... Interesting. What do I do here? I think I should probably deploy up by where my troops are, up north. Not sure about that placement there. I definitely need one in the main area there. I should be putting one in the center and one in the bottom left. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's better. Future me, or current me, agrees with past me. All right, let's see what happens here. Well, all those Mentat dice rolls got saved up for the time I need all the attack rolls. That's okay. I had pretty good rolls prior. I can deal with a bad one now. The problem is Landsrad ban is up, so drawing all those extra cards doesn't feel particularly good. So I'll probably have to save Mentat for my card usage. I would really like to try to end this game this round. All right, let's see what he does. He plays Jessica to draw one and play one. And if he's got Voice from Beyond or Voice from the Outer World, that would be bad, which is deploy a Fatakin in two. Oh, interesting. Okay. So he deploys two Fatakin and a Nabe in the lowest value siege. So I think he sensed I was thinking about that as a potential target. 3 of these sieges are game ending, 1 is not. So it's a little bit of guess who here. Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade. I think I should have just attacked right there. I think attack would have been the better move. He uses Chani to deploy. Oh, interesting. Okay. I don't know if I predicted he would guard that quite as hard. Maybe he's got atomics coming up. I really should be getting rid of Stilgar here. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I don't have a lot of attacks is the problem. So I ask him to discard 2 cards and then I draw 2 replacement cards. What's he doing here? Oh, he's revealing. But you can't actually do that now. Okay, I see what's going on. Okay, so he's mixing up the 2 cards. There's one that's remove a deployment token at any point. That's the deployment or the objective card in the middle. And the one he's trying to execute is reveal the 2 deployment tokens in the same siege as Paul, which you cannot do that until the end of the round. All right, I'm going to fast forward here. So we fixed everything here. He discarded Thumpers and the Voice, placed the deployment tokens back where Paul is, and now is going to use a house dice to play Fear as the Mind Killer on the remove a deployment token where Paul is. But it must be in a sector where there's a Harkonnen unit. Okay. Now I have some choices here. And this is a move that I didn't anticipate coming up. So I have a card here that I'm debating on using, which is to reveal a siege and all deployment tokens there, and then draw 2 cards. What I want to do is I want to play this where Paul is. However, I'm thinking to myself, he might have made a mistake because there is no Harkonnen Legion in that area, so he can't make any use of that card, of that Prescience Point card. And my thought is, if I play this, then maybe he's going to sand ride to another siege and somehow reveal a deployment token there. But I talk myself out of it, and I just draw 3 cards with the idea of maybe I draw 2 Hawat schemes, and also that I need some attacks. And now here is just a brilliant move by Aleksy. So he does Paul's action to sand ride with Paul up to where Stilgar is and bring his 2 deployment tokens. And now that he has those tokens in an area where there's a Harkonnen Legion, he can discard one of those 2 deployment tokens. And because he accidentally revealed them earlier, we know he just discarded 2 regulars to do that, and that he has 2 Fatakin left in there. So now, because I've broken a bunch of kind of core tenets, I let him score 2 extra objective points plus 2 objective points. So 4 objective points, plus he has a giant pile of Atreides in the middle of the base now. So definitely should have attacked Stilgar earlier. Now I have this mess to deal with. Really regretting not playing that card. But all you fans out there, go ahead and write that move down. That's a brilliant use of that objective combo there. Very good. All right, so now I need to weaken that army a little bit. It's just too much. So rather than attack it right off the bat, I'm just going to send Paul to the tank. I got to loosen it up a little bit. He's going to score probably, well, I don't know. Does he have another attack dice? He doesn't. He just has Aaliyah, but maybe he has Voice from Beyond or something. Although I did make him discard 2, so he's a little bit weak. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, Aaliyah's going to discard my deployment dice, I think. Nope, discard one of my 2 attacks. And then he's going to replace 2 elites with 2 Fatakin. And then he's going to move them. Where's he going to move them to, I wonder? He is... He's got some decisions here for sure. So he might be thinking maybe he goes for the eco station. Okay, so he replaced an elite down south, and then he moved out of the range of fade. Interesting. Okay. As bad as I feel about not having as many attacks, I'm sure he's feeling like he was just 1 dice short of winning right there, probably. Now, what to do? So he's only got Desert Power left. And then I could just gamble with Fade. Can I? I have 2 dice left, and I have a move and I have an attack dice, and I have a regular move dice. So I could do a regular move with Fade, and then do an attack onto that Siege in the bottom left-hand corner, because I have Killers Without Mercy. Or I could just prep for an attack somewhere else next turn, because I think I'm getting a lot of spice here. So it looks like I'm thinking deployment. And I don't have the Chome ban up, so okay, I just fill in with a couple guys. He eats a harvester, and then I have a double move here. Nope, I just do an attack. That Okay. Okay, let's do it. I guess I didn't want to gamble on a chance that that Siege is a 1 out of 3 chance of being a 1. I say 1 out of 3 because I think the one up top doesn't really feel like that's a 1 Siege to me. So I say, okay, let's just thin this group out here a little bit. And it's a regular attack, not a surprise attack, but I still roll 7 hits, 1 Fadekin. He gets to choose what to bring out with his special, so he'll bring out 2 blocks, I think, because he knows he needs to keep that together. So it's 5 to 4. So he takes 5, I take 4. So I'll downgrade 3 and then take an extra hit on a regular. And he'll lose a Fadekin. So he'll lose those 4. Oh, I think he missed a damage there. Hmm. Now I realize by retreating him there, yeah, I think it's fine. All the options I had to retreat, he was going to have a hard time with. All right, I did keep 6 spice, so I can keep all my bands available this turn for the final attack. I do have a handful of cards for Landsrad. I do feel like I cut his group down pretty good. So I'm not as worried, and I feel like I can probably take my time into this. I'm not sure why I put Scouting Ban up. Also, a pretty big mistake on my end there. I had a Ornithopter in the bottom left still that I could have used to scout last turn, and that would have been a pretty helpful thing to do. Because then I could have figured out which of these 2 sieges to attack. All right, he's got in the desert. So yeah, he's got to play aggressive here. He's got to try to figure out how to group up his guys. Cuz he's not winning with any of those objectives, I don't think. Oh, I got troop carriers too, which is really good. Okay. I'm in real good shape here, I think. That the decisive moment, I think, was twofold. One was allowing him to group up those guys in the middle, and the second was just lucking out where he didn't have the right combination of cards to pull off a combo in the center of Arakeen. I'd say this game was so far excellently played by both of us. Just a couple minor mistakes on my end. I'm not sure what I would have done differently as him. Guess we'll wait and see the objectives. Now, if I remember correctly, as I'm placing my ornithopters out, I'm thinking to myself, my God, I missed a scout last turn. But between the Emperor and Fade, I have plenty of options. Plus, with troop carriers, I can also pull something off with these guys, where I do like a deploy Fade there and then do a move and attack. And then so I will place the harvesters kind of all around, I guess. I think did I misdo my spice? I'm not sure I took any. Maybe I didn't have a harvester to grab that, or a carry-all to grab that last harvester. Put the scouting ban up now. All right, well, we'll see. That's what happens when you play fast, is sometimes things get jumbled up. Okay, 2 house dice is good. So he's got to think about how he's going to win now. So he probably needs at least 3. He doesn't have a clear shot at Arakeen. So he's probably got to try to defend. It's a tough spot for Atreides here. Paul in the tank too. Paul's probably the most flexible attacker out of the group. So he's going to deploy. Nope, he's not. Mentat? Yeah, Mentat's probably the go-to there. Draw 2, try to grab something good. See what he draws. I think you definitely want voice, maybe. Smugglers, okay. Smugglers isn't bad. That gets that group up together again. Now I wonder how aggressive I play here. Or do I, like, for example, I could just attack Gurney, which probably is a good move, especially because I have so many dice. Right? Or no, maybe not. Maybe I just move Shaddam and I move yeah, let's see. I don't know. Yep, move these guys out to the eco station. And then move Shaddam up a space, maybe. Oh yeah, move him out. There we go. That's a cool move. So then if he doesn't cover that, I just take it. Right? And if he does cover it, then I attack the bottom siege and hope that that is a 1, I guess. Not a 1. And he's gonna Aaliyah to discard one of my attack dice, I'm sure. Yep. And oh, interesting. Get rid of fade. Okay. So that move right there makes me think that that bottom siege is a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer. Again, I had already thought that the one up top was just a 1-pointer. So I have 1 surprise attack left. I could either deploy a leader down there or I could just go into it with the group that I have. And I have about 100 cards to get rid of. So I could either surprise attack for 1, or I could Killers Without Mercy, which allows me to downgrade or to press the attack for free, and it's a 3-pointer. So that's the game. So yeah, I mean, very well played by my opponent Aleksy here. That was excellently done. A lot of good moves on both parts. Very good player. That's a good roll too. Okay. Very good. Yeah, I think the only lesson I have as Harks there is I should not have let Stilgar hang out in the middle of the fort there. And I definitely should have just followed my instinct and played the reveal, the siege, and the double. And then my final thing is don't forget about your scouting options, because scouting, one of those, would have helped that final decision as well. So some minor mistakes on my part, but overall pretty good. So thanks for everybody for watching. Um, I appreciate you guys. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, comment. It helps the algorithms. And I will see you around. Thanks, guys.